Since it looks like everyone is here, this is the September 16th special meeting of the Norwich Redevelopment Agency. We do have a quorum, Mark Koulos, Tucker Braddock, Shane Roberts, and Richard, I'm going to pronounce
Verbeck.
I want to say Rebecca every time, but Rebecca are here. Amy is our consultant, Amy Valancourt, and we also have our clerk here, Melinda. So I'm actually going to turn this over to, since our, I'm probably Mark, I'd say I'm going to turn it over to you to run the meeting. Is that okay?
Yeah, because I'm probably the longest serving member here. Is that right?
Sounds good. I think you are. So go ahead.
All right.
Call the meeting.
All right. So we have a quorum. Call to order. So we'll start the meeting, the recording. It's what's the time?
12:01.
12:01. Okay. And we're going to skip over because this is a special meeting. Generally, minutes are only approved in regular meetings. So what we'll do is we'll wait until the next regular meeting to approve any of the regular meeting or special meeting minutes. So it will probably be multiple minutes, and especially since we don't have all of our members present, that way we can get full input from everyone. So we'll go right on to old business, and I believe that's Amy.
Amy, are you on?
Yep, I'm on.
Hi, Amy.
How you doing?
Hi, Amy.
Hi, everyone. So since our last meeting, a couple things have come up on the YMCA. And Deanna, I'll talk, but if I say something wrong, just correct me. We know that an RFP is going out for development. We also have been accepted into UConn's Brownfield program, where they have students working to write grant applications on behalf of municipalities, and the YMCA was selected for this round. They need some documentation in order to apply. So they had reached out and we're supporting that effort. We're supporting Deanna with getting the RFP out, and if there's questions from developers for that. And lastly, in addition to applying for EPA brownfield funding for the YMCA project for the next round, DECD just announced their round of brownfield grants is open. And what I suggested to Deanna is let's try to throw in an application to the state funding to support this project, because EPA's round isn't until later in the fall, early winter, and it's still not a guarantee to get that. So if you apply for the state and their round is due October 22nd, and if you're accepted, then you know you have the funds right away. And with your RFP out for a developer, any way you can secure funds is better. So I encouraged her to apply for that. And again, we only have 2 weeks left. So what I did is I threw together a task order for support on all those fronts for $2,500. I reached out to EPA, making sure they would be okay with that. And then I sent over the task order this morning to Deanna.
So
Who would write the application?
So
the city normally writes the application.
I'm sorry, say that again.
The city writes the application. So, but these would be the project support for the DECD grant, but we're also having project support done through the UConn students working on the EPA grant. So,
Right, so
under old business, before we finish this, we're really just to quickly update on project budget. That we're not into the new budget, the new business, which we're kind of talking about. Can you just touch base on where we're at with the project budget really quickly?
Oh, sure. Nothing has really changed from the last budget that we sent, where you have $619 left in your hazardous funding. and you had 20,000 left in your petroleum, but last Friday, a week ago, we took out the tank for the YMCA, and the charge on that was $7,900. So 20,000 minus your 7,900, that's what you have left in your petroleum.
A
And
little
then,
over 12,000.
and
Right.
then we're gonna deduct this task order too. from
Right.
it. And the only reason that we'd be working on this task order is because it's basically doing some paperwork for us that'll help us with the DECD grant. It's no more work in the field or anything that Amy has to worry. You know, it's not additional work really. It's tied into what she's already doing, but a little bit more. And so otherwise we wouldn't be able to take on another task order right now. It'd just be, you know, too much to do before September 30th, the end of the grant.
Right. So there were in that task order are 2 hours for meetings and correspondence.
Well, wait, Amy, to talk about this till we get to new business, because that's. under new
Sorry.
business.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so this Yukon program, this is something new? Because usually the grant support writing always was done through the college in New Jersey or so this is something new that the EPA is allowing, or?
Yes, EPA has partnered with UConn, and so that's why they can't actually write the grants, because they're a partner with UConn on the training for Brownfields program. It's probably been about 3 years. Amy, you want to say 2 or 3 years?
Exactly, but Mark, to answer your question, that New Jersey Institute under the tab, the Technical Brownfields Assistance,
Right,
they are currently bringing UConn on under the same EPA grant to provide technical assistance. This UConn program started about 3 years ago, and because they have gotten so much knowledge through the program, EPA is going to certify them just like New Jersey.
okay, so they're gonna be like a separate tab for
Correct.
the
for
EPA, whatever we
Region
are.
1.
Yeah,
Region 1, yeah.
Yeah,
and that's why they can't they can do everything but like basically complete the grant application for us, because they are going to be a partner with EPA. So there's a little bit of that, you know, they want to help you, but they can't have that conflict of having written it. So if this gets you all the way down, you know, to the wire to give you the information. So they're working on that. On Friday, Pat and I will be attending, Pat McLaughlin and myself will be attending UConn to the class, to one of the classes, so we can talk to the actual students assigned to Norwich's task.
All right, so is this the same unit basically that runs the land use university that does the zoning classes and all of that?
No, the
Yeah.
zoning classes, a lot of those now are up at UConn, but they were run through Central Connecticut State University. So no, totally separate. This is their specific environmental program at UConn related to brownfields, not zoning stuff.
they get like a brownfield certification, and they get credits for it.
All right.
Okay.
All right, yeah, because I took the land use courses that were offered. I think it was the CCOG.
Yep, no, it's not related to that, it's separate.
Okay.
So I think we could move on to new business, so Amy can talk a little bit more. She pretty much went over it, but we can.
Sorry. Yeah, so the task order that I gave was for 2 hours for meetings and correspondence, and that's, you know, anything related to the RFP you're putting out for the developer, anything for the YMCA, anything for brownfields. And then
Can you see the task order on the screen? Everyone? Okay, just making sure. Okay.
Yeah.
And then that Connecticut Brownfield Initiative with UConn. And again, just a couple hours. We had set up a Dropbox. We put in all the reports that we had available. We're still producing a couple more documents up until the end of September. We told them we would have everything to them by September 30th. And then this ABCA. In ABCA is something that EPA requires when you do apply for funding for remediation. They want a summary document that you've considered other alternatives. So we'll be preparing that to help the city apply for additional funding for the YMCA.
Now, this is just help for the EPA grant. It's, or are they also going to help in the DECD grant?
No, Deanna's gonna have to do the DECD grant, but I'll be providing her the summary information on the technical stuff.
All right, and all of that, all of your work is going to be completed by the end of September then, right, Amy?
And yep, completed and invoiced. I put that right there in the time schedule.
Yeah, everything needs to be done by that date. And so all the information that Amy's going to be doing in this time will actually tie out helping us on the EPA grant application, working with UConn, but it'll also help me and staff with working on the DECD grant here. So we can go both hands and double dipping, because DECD comes faster and it's probably easier than EPA, but we want to have that in our pocket if we need to go that route too.
Right.
All right, and you
Yeah.
already got the okay from EPA to use the hazardous waste money on this
It's petroleum.
petroleum.
No.
All right, does anyone have any other questions?
I do.
Go ahead.
So we discussed earlier that as much as this grant ends September 30th, that we got to go and close out everything with paperwork after that. So we're taking this new task order into consideration. Is there adequate funds left to be able to go and close out the entire grant formalization process as required?
Yes.
We're already under contract to provide all the documentation to close your grant. So that's been included. It was 2 task orders ago, I believe.
All right, so what we're talking about is the amount of the 12,000 some odd dollars still left. We want to take an additional 2,500 out of it right now. That's, that's in addition, that's excess beyond what the closeout will be, right?
Yes.
Correct.
All right, thank you.
So we'll end up with an unspent $9,500.
Correct.
May I
All
ask
right,
a question,
Tucker,
Mrs.
you had a
Brad?
question?
I do, thank you. This is petroleum money that we're taking this $2,500 from?
Correct. That's really all you have left.
I know, but how do we justify taking it when we're not using it for petroleum?
No, you are. YMCA is a petroleum site.
I thought that was for the tank only.
No, not just for the tank. We did a phase 2, the drilling, the groundwater monitoring. We did all of that with petroleum funds.
Okay,
Yeah.
Amy.
Yep, they're allowing
Okay.
us to use petroleum for this. We cleared that through EPA.
Okay.
Yeah, so as long as there was some money spent on tank removal or assessment of in-ground or whatever, they're allowing you to expand the universe around that.
Yeah, basically the YMCA FIT is a petroleum site, but you cannot use petroleum to sample for lead and asbestos. So all your hazardous building materials for YMCA, that was done with hazardous funds, but everything else was petroleum.
Okay, two quick questions, please.
Go ahead, Tucker.
Thank you. What was the total, AB, what was the total sum to remediate the YMCA? I'm sorry, I don't have my note. I'm at a bare desk.
At the last meeting, I'd gone over verbally, but we're providing that cost estimate to you. It was around 857,000, I believe, for the YMCA.
Okay, thank you.
And just so you know,
And-
Public Works Director was looking for that information soon, if we can get that document from you.
Yeah, I'll shoot it over today.
Okay.
Okay, and what does APCA stand for?
It's
APCA?
it's an analysis of brownfield cleanup alternatives,
Okay, thanks.
right?
Yep, got it. Thanks very much.
So in other words, if you could just cap it for whatever use you're going to use, they want you to look at that or prioritize that over actual removal.
Correct. Just to give you an example, the underground storage tank. Let's say we didn't remove it, we abandoned it in place. That would be a
Yeah.
type of alternative, but we removed it.
But you're still required to remove the oil and fill with sand or whatever, right?
Yeah, if that were your analysis, that you were gonna leave it versus taking it out. But EPA, and again, that was just an example I was giving you for a type of alternative. EPA allowed us under your grant to remove that, so we did.
Did you clean the fields around it?
We just were able to take out the tank. We could
Okay.
not do any actual remediation with the grant you had in place.
That's,
All right.
okay, I think that's where I was going when I asked the $2,500 out of the petroleum fund. I think that's what I did. I had a little misunderstanding there, but I'm all squared away now. Thank you very much.
But did they do soil sampling around it when they removed the tank?
We did, and the soil samples came back clean. We had some detections in groundwater, but the soil samples from the tank came back clean.
All right, so really no further removal of soil is necessary then.
Not for that tank. Your biggest cleanup cost for the YMCA that you're applying for a grant for is going to be your lead and asbestos, your hazardous building materials.
Okay. All right, so we have a task order before us. Could I have a motion on accepting the task order 25?
So it would be to spend the money, the $2,500 to approve the $2,500 task order.
Tucker, I will make that motion.
All right,
I'll second.
all right, we have a first from Tucker and a second from Shane. All right, Rich, can you unmute yourself? All right, so we'll go through a roll call vote. Tucker, approve.
I approve. Yes,
Shane,
affirmative.
Yes.
Rich?
Yes,
Okay, and Mark, I also approve. So 4-0. So we all approve. So task order 25 is approved.
Thank you. We have no
Fine.
citizens on the meeting today, so we have no citizen comment.
Okay, I guess our business is concluded. No further comments from the city or Amy or any other questions from the board.
Move to adjourn.
Okay,
second. I second
Second.
the move.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Tucker and Richard is the second, and then it's unanimous, and it's 12:18. Thank you so much. We appreciate everyone coming on to the special meeting. Have a great day.
You too.
All righty.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Bye.
bye-bye.